this video, we're at the Lakeland Motor Museum. We've got our tickets. An old 1927 Dennis fire engine. How do you do? How are you? You don't say much, do you? You look a bit shocked. What have you seen? You look like you've seen a ghost. Model T. An old delivery van. I think we could turn it into a camper.
Might be a bit cramped with the dogs. Sorry.
When I think of figures on the front of the vehicle, I just think Rolls Royce. I've never thought of other vehicles having them. It's a Fiat. A 1929 Fiat 509A, two-door, four-seat saloon. Back in the day when cars had character and not all computer generated and
all the same aerodynamics.
There's so much to see here that we're not going to say, oh, this is such and such and this is such and such. But this is a 1937 Bentley 4 1/4. And this one was owned by Steam record legend Donald Campbell. Sir Malcolm Campbell died at home on New Year's Eve 1948. His will didn't leave his record-breaking 1935 Bluebird 5 car and 1939 K4 boat to his family. Instead they were to be sold off. Malcolm Campbell had broken the world water speed record at 141 to 170 miles per hour just prior to the start of World War II. Donald Campbell bought this Bentley in February 1949, at which point it was silver in colour, having originally been black. At the time, Donald gave his address as the Reigate Hill Hotel, and it's believed he lived there whilst Bluebird K4 was undergoing alterations prior to an attempt on the record at Coniston in August 1949. Campbell owned many cars during his lifetime, keeping this one for just under a year. Many of his vehicles were painted blue, and he had a personal St Christopher badge made, which is still in position on the dashboard. The next owner after Donald kept the vehicle for 37 years, then it went into storage for some years before the museum purchased it. And we can't really see in, to look at the St Christopher, sadly. (1949) Turner Light Delivery Vehicles Tri-Van. So this is an Austin A35, 1957. So Keith was born in 1956. So we'll catch up with him in a minute and ask him whether he remembers he's on the road, because he'll still been on the road, I would have thought, when he was a youngster. The Austin A35, 1957. So saying, do you remember those on the road when you were a youngster? Because that was manufactured.
Yeah, I remember Austins. I don't particularly know
that
the 35 model.
I was just thinking they'd still be on the road when you were a youngster, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
So. I expected this place to be a lot smaller than it is, but the guy on who sold us the tickets on the reception actually said it's a TARDIS when you get inside, and it is fairly big. This is a 1930s Dodgem car from New Brighton on Merseyside. Look a bit different from the Dodgem cars you see these days. And the museum still adds to its collection. This is a Humber, and it says it's a new exhibit, a 1963 Humber Hawk Estate, Series 3. That's big, isn't it? It's big. Camera on the seat. I remember these.
I remember these.
What is it? An Austin... A 1962 Austin A40 Farina Mark II. But yeah, I mean, I was born in '64, but I remember seeing these on the road as a kid. All ready for a picnic. The A40 Farina was produced from the years 58 to 1967, Longbridge in Birmingham. And I also remember seeing these on the road, especially the red, the Messerschmitt. I remember seeing those around a lot. I'm not sure. Yes, I'll have seen those as well, but I do remember those. Then we get onto the ones that I really remember. 1990 Mini Cooper Limited Edition. When minis look like minis. I think, well, in fact I know because we've talked about it before. My first car was a Mini.
So was mine.
Mine was a little black Mini.
Mine was as well.
Was it? As I said, when Minis look like Minis, not like the massive cars that they are these days. And this is a 1960 MGA Roadster to police specification. One of approximately 50 MGA supplied for traffic police duties to the Lancashire Constabulary. Now that is a police car, isn't it?
It is.
Did anybody ever see one of these in real life, or on telly, on the news, or on, I don't know whether I ever saw it on Tomorrow's World, or maybe it was on Blue Peter or something, an amphicar, so it's an amphibious car. Well before James Bond and his Lotus. So yes, this could change into a water vehicle. And look at the fins.
And the thing is, once you're waterborne, you really begin to believe that 9 miles an hour is quite a speed. Because, look, that amphicar is traveling at 9 miles an hour precisely, and you feel you're really moving.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that's the footage I saw.
Probably is.
Fish out of water indeed, you're in your element, because you never can tell whatever sort of man-bites-dog experience you're in for when you get inside a strange motor car. Just step, if your conscience is clear, and you're right with the law into this one.
The amphicar is widely considered to be among the most unique cars ever manufactured. A total of only 3,878 were built in Germany from 1961 to 1968. And they all were convertibles and offered in a choice of 4 colours: beach white, regatta red, lagoon blue and fjord green. More cars that I remember on the road when I was a kid. This was 1962, as I say I was born in 64, but I remember seeing these. In fact, I'm pretty sure that one of my primary school teachers had the Vitesse model. It's a Triumph. Or it might have been a Herald, but similar shape. And this one is a Capri. I don't remember a Capri looking like this. A 1962 Ford Consul Capri. And these 1974 Citroen DS20. So I was 10 when these were produced, and at the time I remember thinking, what ugly cars. My opinion's not changed. But here we are now with one of Keith's favourites. He's got a story to tell about one of these, but I'll let him tell you. You've got a story to tell.
My 2CV. Cheapest car I bought. £25 and a pint.
And what? It didn't run, did it?
Wasn't a runner. I'd been in a garage for years. I got it to a garage, and all they did was tow it and freed all the engine up, and it was a runner. Didn't cost me anything. So my cheapest car, bright yellow.
Not the only story, is it, Keith?
I got done for speeding in it. My claim to fame, speeding ticket and 2 CV.
But they haven't lost their attraction, have they?
No.
Quirky looking cars, but they still look good. They've even got tractors here.
Poultry keeping is a very important part of the girls' training. They know how to keep chickens even if they can't keep secrets.
No, because women can't keep secrets. What ho? 1941 Fordson tractor. Widely used by the Women's Land Army. Now, I used to... I remember an advert when I was a kid. And I've said it to a lot of people in my time. But nobody seems to remember the advert. But I believe it was Freddie Starr in it. Do you remember it? Do you want to buy a second-hand Booble car?
No, I don't remember that.
And it's one that's always stuck in my head because it was just funny. Do you want to buy a second-hand Booble car? Another of your favourites?
TR6, that was my favourite. TR5.
Oh, Trabant over there. Another of my favourites when I was a kid. The Triumph Spitfire. Thank you. And the Mini Clubman. Now we're getting to cars from my era. 1978 Mini Clubman. And the old Ford Fiesta. This was one of the cars I always wanted when I grew up, a Ford Fiesta. Before they got to be boring shapes. This is a GL version, so it's the posh one. And Ford Escort. The proper Escort shape. Launched in 1967 as a replacement for the Anglia. Although the name had been used before as an estate version of the Popular in the 1950s. And I remember watching rallying with Escorts. Let's walk forward. Keep walking. Got something for you.
Warrington, 5.5 miles from there.
I wonder whether you ever saw that sign when you were a little one.
Possibly. We're nowhere near it, aren't we?
Yep. I've never really been into motorbikes, but it's only fair to show you. Not names that I know. A new Imperial, Veloset. Veloset?
Yes.
It's quite powerful, isn't it? 350 cc's. Francis Barnett. Royal Ruby. I think I know that name.
We need to go upstairs first.
I don't know which way around it is. Yeah. Sign. Out early, do not park in front. That's a Morris Cowley. You look round, you miss things. Hadn't seen this on the other side of the motorcycles. A 1924 Nera car. Was produced under license in Britain by Sheffield Simplex. Slight variation between two. About 10,000 produced in the USA and 6,500 in Britain. It was an attempt at providing a cheaper car-like driving experience with better weather protection than normal motorcycles. I'm not sure how.
Where the protection comes from.
It's very tempting to hoot it. A staircase of road signs. Some of which I remember. Crossing, no gates.
It's telling you to go up and go right, isn't it?
The old sign. And the vitalised sign.
Next thing you know, it'll be a non-binary sign.
Is that an old specific date? Got 120, got 220.
Look at this old bike. And the horse carving on it. And the old motoring mascots and motoring badges. Had an old AA badge from my dad's. I wish we'd still got it.
Have we not got it somewhere?
We might have, but I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, my dad did on his.
And he had a little socket made so he could plug it in because we needed one at Southsea.
The house where I was born. My dad had a company car, Ford Anglia Estate, when he was working for a company, and it was his first car after he passed his driving test, because he passed his driving test quite late. And I remember that being one of the things, because we had to park on the road, and every night he had to put the light on. He had to go out as soon as it was going dark. Is that what your dad had to do then?
Yeah, at Southsea.
Yeah. Hey, it's bringing back some memories. I don't see one of your bikes.
My bikes?
Well, you've got a unicycle, haven't you?
Unicycle.
In the loft at home, Keith does have a unicycle. Maybe we need to get it out one day and do a video on you riding it. That might be. Rally. Obviously big name in bikes that everyone knows, certainly in the UK. They were from Nottingham, based in Nottingham, built in Nottingham. Factories long since gone. My favourite bike when I was a kid, I'm pretty sure we'll see one here, was a rally chopper. I had a Mark 1, which to me was always a proper rally chopper. It was an orange one. It had the round gear knob rather than the one that looked like an automatic car one. Pretty sure there will be one here somewhere. We're coming into the scooters now as well as bikes. And Keith had a scooter as well. So I'm pretty sure again that we might see a model like he had. Again, when I was a kid, there was a competition in the newspaper to win a pedal car. And I had these big ideas that I was going to win it. And I was going to pedal to school every day in it and park it next to all the stuffed cars. The things you think when you're a kid, eh? Oh, not seeing a chopper yet. Does that bring back any ideas of adverts? PG tips? Can you write tandem? Oh, look at this one. Look at the shape of that. Have you seen a moped like you had anywhere?
Well, that's about the nearest to it. Mine was a Honda 50. That's a motorbike. Honda 75, but no, I've not seen one like mine.
See, I've seen a rally chopper, but I had the Mark 1. You know how I was just saying about the gear change looking like an automatic with the cross? Mine was like a gear knob, but I've not seen it, and I wanted to see one. Nice orange, the proper chopper. I always liked a chopper. Did you have a chopper? Did you have a chopper?
No.
You had a racer, didn't you?
I had a racer.
Yeah.
You fancy a pedal car like I had either.
No, you have a pedal car.
That like that?
Was it?
Yeah.
The blue one?
The blue one. It was a huge thing.
Did you reverse that into the tree outside your mum and dad's? Like you did his car? Look at all the number plates as well. We've driven past this a few times on the way up to the lakes and we've never come in, but I'm glad we have now. It's £10 for adults. It's not too bad, is it? It's a heck of a lot bigger than I thought. Not an Isle of Man TT race story, but we do have a story about the MotoGP, don't we?
Yes, we won tickets, didn't we?
We did.
So we go and see a MotoGP weekend anywhere in Europe. So we could have gone to Donington Park, 10 miles down the road.
We chose not to, didn't we?
Yeah. So we went to San Marino and watched it there.
Yeah. Chauffeur driven to the airport, chauffeur driven from the airport to the hotel. Meals. Went to the track. Breakfast. Lunch. Champagne receptions. Meet the riders, go into the pits. Well before we were doing YouTube, because that would have been a heck of a video. And we were supposed to come home on the Sunday, and they came to us on the Sunday morning at the hotel and said, we're really sorry. This before we went to the race. They said, we're really sorry, but we can't fly you back on the Sunday. Would you mind staying in San Marino for another day? We'll pay for the hotel for you again, and we'll give you some more spending money. It was a difficult decision, but we said yes. But yes, we met all the riders, Casey Stoner and some of the others. It was a really good weekend. Saying that neither of us are into motorcycles or motorcycle racing, really. For the cars. MG M-Type Midget, 847cc, 4-cylinder. So when you look around here, brings back a lot of memories. C5, got a friend, Jonathan, who collected them for a while, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He had a couple. So we've had to go on those.
We've had to go on C5s, yeah. And this is a 1956 Vincent Amanda water scooter. So this is the forerunner of the jet skis. And now another of my lusted after cars. When I was a kid, I always wanted a Ford Capri. This style. Yes, that was one of the cars I really wanted. And this is a Mark V Ford Cortina. Another of my favourite cars when I was growing up was my brother. He's 10 years older than me. He had a Mark II Ford Cortina, and I can remember the registration, PMO 824F. And I loved that car. And at the same time my brother had that, my dad had a Ford Corsair, the last one off the production line. And here's one that people might recognise for a different reason. The DeLorean. No sign of a flux capacitor.
It's just that room back when we were going around the other way.
No.
There's more room in the back of the Land Rover.
Oh yeah, a lot more room in the back of the Lambo. If you remember a recent video of ours when we went to the Ironmongers in Cockermouth, you've seen the Acto car. And Keith's just saying, not seen an Acto here.
There's so few of them, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Ducati? A Chevrolet Corvette. Not my style of car really, but very nice anyway. Land Rover collection. So now we're in the gift shop. Now there is a Bluebird exhibition as well, so we're going to have a nosy at that.